Hi, I'm Haylley Pittam and I'm here to interview Sarah Windibank. With our interview, we're going to be discussing all the things related to Aqua Aerobics and how I got to meet her many years ago, tutoring and presenting in our former lives. So welcome, Sarah.
Hi, Haylley.
And I want to start with a nice little, first of all, a big question of, you're at a party, someone comes up to you and asks you what do you say your job is?
I normally just say I teach Aqua Aerobics and I tutor Aqua Aerobics. People then seem to look completely horrified, you know, it's like, what's that?
They ask you to elaborate, or do they come up with little comments?
It's normally the what's that and oh, swimming stuff. No, different to swimming. Yeah. But yeah, it's quite interesting when I normally say to people, oh, I love teaching aqua combat, you know, and they're fighting in the water. You fight people in the water.
So would you say that your area of where you love teaching aqua aerobics is the combat style?
Definitely, it's helped me throughout my life, the combat, the fighting style. So yeah, I love it. Although I do teach other things as well, but I do love teaching the aqua combat London style.
When did you start teaching aqua aerobics?
Originally, it was in 1997. So yeah, started teaching 23 years ago.
Wow. And what was it like back then when you were teaching? What was the comparison that you've got from then to compared to now? What was the difference?
I think mainly back then it was just a case of a lot of the older generation in the water back then, very few young people, very few men. In the very early days, I don't even remember having a man in the class. Now, the class is predominantly ladies still, but with a good percentage of men, plus the age range can be from 16 plus.
Fantastic.
You know, so from years ago, and of course you still get the adverts. You know, whenever you see a poster, it's the older generation in the water. Brilliant, but you also can show that there are activities and exercises for the younger generation, and they can stand next to each other and do the same thing at their own tempo, at their own speed, and do the exercise that's more beneficial for themselves.
Yeah, I love bringing in the younger and the male customers into my classes, and having that kind of balance of all the generations, all the abilities, to be able to say that you can all do the same thing in the same class to work to your own ability, and I love that side of things. So what made you start teaching aqua aerobics?
I was actually lifeguarding, and I lifeguarded a aqua aerobic class, and the woman was a complete and utter fruitcake.
Oh,
not sure if that's PC correct, but I just watched, and she was having so much fun that it was like, I want to do that. That is what I want to do. Of course, way back then, you couldn't just go off and become a aqua aerobic instructor. I did a 10-week exercise to music course, and then went on to do my aqua aerobics after. The funny thing was, I went and I'd signed up for my ETM, my exercise to music, and I went along to a class, and I thought at the end I'm going to speak to the instructor. So I went over to talk to her at the end, and I said, I've signed up to do what you're doing here now. And she said, oh, fantastic, how long have you been doing aerobics? And I said, this is my first class. So I'd signed up to become an aerobic instructor just because I was so desperate to become an aqua aerobic instructor, and then thought, okay, well, I better start doing some aerobic classes.
Did you actually teach land-based aerobics as well then?
Yeah, and I still do, although a couple of years ago I gave up, well, I'd say probably 10 years ago now. I gave up a lot of my dry classes. I decided, no, I was going to just go into the aqua field. I weren't interested in the dry side. It was just the aquatic side that I wanted to focus on.
Did you teach just basic, like I say the ETM classes, or did you go down any of the styles of land-based classes?
Oh yeah, I did step. I did the Les Mills body pump, body combat, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did those as well, and I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
But it was that magnetic pull to the water. I just don't think there's anything better.
No.
I still do teach dry classes now, and because of the current situation, I've been doing some online bits, but it's just get me back to a pool.
Linda said the other day that she feels like a fish on carpet.
That is a perfect analogy, actually. Yeah, definitely. Definitely a fish out of water.
Okay, so before you started teaching aqua aerobics, what did you do as a job before?
Well, I was a trampoline coach and a gymnastics coach. I run my own trampolining club for 20 years. I did that parallel to working in a shop. I was a retail manageress as well. So
what kind of shop?
Completely different.
Yeah.
It was the Early Learning Centre.
Wow, that's completely different.
Toys.
Yeah. Children's learning toys. I mean, couldn't get well, I suppose there is some early learning stuff that we do in the water. So before you've done this next journey, you were also working in the police station, right?
Yes, I was a property supervisor for Essex Police and then City of London Police, dealing with all the evidence, all the evidential property that came into the police station. So drugs, guns, knives, rape samples. It was very interesting.
Yeah, very different to aqua aerobics, completely opposite.
The funny thing is, I used to teach aqua aerobics 3 nights a week while I worked full-time for the police. Mm-hmm. And one day we had the welfare person come in, and she was doing everybody's blood pressure just to make sure that we were all okay, because, you know, high stressful job. And we'd had some proceeds of crime come in. So the officers had seized lots of money. I had to count it and I had to get it verified with somebody else. And I'm talking, there must have been in excess of £10,000. So, you know, it's continuously being counted and make sure we got it right.
I hope it wasn't in fivers.
I then got called to go and have my welfare check and have my blood pressure done. And the nurse said to me, oh, it's brilliant. You've obviously had a nice, easy morning this morning. Your blood pressure's 120/80. And I said, no, believe me, it's not been an easy morning. It's been very high pressured. But I put it down to the fact that 3 times a week, I was going off and teaching aqua aerobics, letting out all my tension, all my stress, and it helped me cope. It helped keep my blood pressure at a normal rate on stressful situations.
Yeah, and you got all that frustration out as well. So your mental health was much better because you're getting that time to physically do something to get rid of that frustration. Yeah,
definitely.
So would you say that aqua aerobics has helped with the mental health element of your life?
Without a doubt. no shadow of a doubt at all. On a personal note, I've been through divorce, bereavement, marriage, moving house, moving countries, you know, and doing the exercise, especially aqua aerobics, has been a lifeline. It's helped keep me, I won't say sane, definitely not sane, but it has definitely helped me throughout my life.
So at the height of you teaching aqua aerobics and the height of you being involved with all the aqua world, how many classes was your maximum you did in a week when you were at your height?
17.
17.
Yeah, that was a complete mixture. I combined aqua jog with functional mobility for people who had problems getting in and out of the pool as well. So jog, functional mobility, the normal aqua aerobic style, aqua combat, and aqua strength training as well. Complete mix, and shallow and deep.
That is a big mix. That is a really big mix.
And
yeah.
It was fantastic because every class was so different, and the people that come would be different as well.
Yeah, everyone's attracted to different styles of class, and it's one of the main things about you know, as an instructor as well, you know, if you do something that's different and challenging, then you also don't get bored, or you don't do the same routines, and you give a variety of classes and a variety of style, which is obviously fantastic for both you and your participants going into the water.
Yeah, loved it.
So did you ever do any like one-to-one work?
I did one once, but I prefer the group. I get such a buzz from, and if I take you back to a few years ago when I was teaching more frequently at my local pool in Essex, and the manager would always be there of an evening, and he'd say to me, "Come on, Sarah, we need to get it up to 20 people," because I took over the class and there were 15, and we got it up to 20. And then one evening I messaged him and said, "We're up to 30," and then it was, "We're up to 40," and the maximum, I panicked one evening when I had 87 people turn up for one class, and
wow.
I said, I can't cope with this amount. This is crazy.
Your eyes are everywhere, aren't they, when it's that amount of people?
How do you make sure that amount of people are doing the exercise correctly? You know, so we capped it at 60, and my average was 60 people. But whenever anybody was new, everyone around, because it was like a family, and I think the aquatic world is like a huge, big family. The people in the water would all be making sure that people were doing things correctly. And what's really great for me now is a lot of those people who come along when I'm tutoring and we have the exam day. If I say I need volunteers, you know, I have to turn people away because I have to restrict the amount of bodies in the water for the instructors that are doing their examination. And I will have people that go to classes and they'll say to me, "That person's doing their exam. I gave them some pointers and I told them the sort of things that I know you look for." Yeah. They're helping people out, you know, and it's nothing from me, but because they've done a lot of the exams, you know, they're helping the instructors out, they're helping other people in the water out. It's brilliant. The aqua world is one big family.
Yeah, we're trying to keep that love and that community going, despite the fact that currently we have no swimming pool.
Yeah.
The lockdown is still on for a few more weeks, and I feel as if we're going to be ended up looking like, you know, dried up fish that can't get to the swimming pool fast enough.
Jellyfish that have got all shriveled.
So within your journey, what would you say was your biggest challenge that you faced during all this aqua?
Oh, I would say when I was first nominated to do IAFC, when Hilly Hips, Hilly Knees, Linda Huey messaged me and said she'd nominated me. The pressure was unbelievable, and then to be accepted and then to go and teach that first year was the biggest, most challenging thing I think I've ever done. But again, with the acceptance of the international aquatic family, I made so many new friends from around the world that I'm still in touch with now, and we still do video chats. Even at the most inappropriate times, I'll get my good friend Patricia Benjamin from Idaho phoning me, you know. And she'll phone me and do video chat, and it might be 4 o'clock in the morning. But of course, for her time, it's you know, absolutely fine.
Yeah. So IAFC, just for those that don't know, is the International Aquatic Fitness Conference run by A.E.A. It happens every year in May time, around May time, and unfortunately this year it has been postponed and will be running next year instead. And the IAFC family is from all around the world: Portugal, Italy, Spain. We love all our fellow presenters from those foreigner fields, and we are all united by A.E.A. And it's definitely it's a close part of us. When you've been there, I don't think you could replace it with anything else. There is definitely a sense of community there that is unlike anywhere else, and you do make some amazing friends that you will continue to have a friendship with when you leave the convention, and it is a lovely convention to go to. So if anyone wants to come and be part of the team. So with going back to aqua, going back to us chatting, what's your favorite piece of equipment to use in the water?
I wouldn't say I have a favorite piece, and I never use the same piece of equipment sort of more than 2 weeks on the trot for that particular class. I like to mix it up and change it. Nobody ever knows exactly what I'm going to use. I mean, I'll take, I've got the wobble boards from the wobble training. I did my hydroactive training. I've done aqua spin training. I've got the drums, the drumsticks. You know, you've got the noodles, the hand buoys, the bands, the loops. So it depends on what I decide to take, and aqua discs as well. You know, I take them all, and if I'm covering a class, to be slightly different, I'll normally take the aqua discs along, and then I'll use those. It's fantastic, and it's something totally different that people don't expect.
Yeah.
But I still love noodles, you know.
Yeah.
Gold noodle.
Go back to the basics, the noodles.
Yeah.
So if you could give an instructor a piece of advice, what piece of advice would you give them?
Don't teach any exercise or combination of moves unless you've been in the water and tried it yourself and made sure that it actually works. Because the amount of classes, I'm one of these people that no matter where I go, if there's an aqua class on, I will go and join in. And in fact, my husband is just as aqua obsessed as I am, and normally if we go book a holiday, he will find where there are aqua aerobic classes around the area so that we can book and join in the classes. And we've been to classes before now, and my pet hate is when you go to a class and they say lunge or squat. They not know anything about buoyancy. So yeah, my one bit of advice would be get in the water and make sure that the exercises that you're planning on doing and the moves that you're planning on do actually work.
Fantastic. Well, on that note, I think that is a wonderful way to end our little chat. And and I just want to also give you an opportunity to say the name of your aquatic company.
Oh, my aquatic company is AIT, Aqua Instructor Training. We offer the level 2 aqua qualification course, and we also do CPDs, which at the moment you can have REPS points or SIMSPA points, and possibly REPS Ireland are coming on board with that as well.
Okay, that's fantastic. Oh, okay, well, I'm going to end by saying thank you very much for coming and having a lovely little chat with me. And I look forward to hearing from everyone else that's watched this and see how we can keep the aqua love going. So
Brilliant.
Thank you very much and see you soon. Bye.
Thank you, Haylley. Bye.